Good. So, before I get into my presentation, I would like to propose a question to all of you. Have you ever had to give a speech in front of 30 or more people? Before you had to give that speech, did you feel somewhat nervous or lack confidence? Well, if that's the case, that's normal. It's like that for all of us. We get nervous before we have to give a speech and whatnot, and we lack confidence. But as you start to continue talking and whatnot, that speech starts to become somewhat secondhand, and our confidence starts to rise. Therefore, we're able to give that stellar speech that we all want to give. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. So, with that said, I want you to keep what was just discussed in mind as I tell you about how confidence made all the difference during my journey to state for speech team. Now, before I started my speech team season this year, I had a goal that was already preset in mind, which was to advance to the state final competition for either dramatic duet acting or radio speaking. Now, at the time, I really wasn't sure about how I was going to accomplish this goal, so I just stuck by the principle of confidence being the key to success, and I thought, well, I should succeed just with that principle alone, because confidence makes a huge difference. So, throughout my project and whatnot, I had a blog that was dedicated to tracking all of my progress, and the blog had such things such as updates on my scores and whatnot, and it also had a mini video series, which barely ever got updated. But that's because I was busy with other activities at the time and whatnot, and I really didn't have much time to actually update it. But don't get me wrong, I did to a certain degree, but it was probably around 10 to 30%, which isn't a lot. But bottom line, doing to be busy with other things and activities and whatnot, I wasn't able to update the blog and also do the procrastinating. And yes, I do procrastinate to a certain degree. And let that be a note to some of you, because procrastination is bad and it will sneak up on you. So have a balance between everything, okay? And just please have a balance. So, when I first started speech team this year, my first 3 tournaments, they were just horrible. I didn't place at all, I didn't bring it to the final round, I didn't even receive any medals. But out of all my tournaments, my 3rd tournament, which was held at Morris High School, stuck to me the most. And what had happened was, everyone on the team, except for maybe 4 or 5 people, didn't place and receive medals. Everyone received medals except for 4 or 5 people. And out of those 4 or 5 people who did not receive medals and whatnot, I was one of them. And I want you to think about it for a minute. When you start a new season, you get new people on the team and whatnot. But these people, they managed to receive medals in place, but I didn't. And I don't want to say that I was jealous of them, but I was a little bit discouraged, you know. I was happy that they received medals, but I wanted to be in that setting of happiness just as they were. But because I wasn't, I started to lose confidence throughout. This is actually a picture of the team right here. As you can see, there are a lot of people who have medals and whatnot. And yes, we actually took 1st place, if I'm not mistaken, at that tournament. Let's go West. Love it. And already, so my 4th speech team tournament came up. And because I really didn't have that much confidence, I was like, hey, you know what? Whatever happens, happens. If I don't get a medal, I don't get a medal. It's whatever. But to my amazement, I actually did place. I took 6th place for dramatic duet acting along with my partner. Now, I was happy that I managed to place and whatnot, but I wasn't so ecstatic because I didn't place for radio speaking, which, as you can tell, is my main category. But I guess, you know, win a few, lose a few. It is what it is. So, after the 4th tournament, the SWSC varsity tournament, winter break came up and speech team was halted for some time. And during that time, I kind of had the time to sit back and just think about what went wrong, my previous failures and whatnot. And as I was thinking, the idea of confidence being the key to success, it came to mind again. Now, confidence being the key to success, it's my motto. It's what I stand for. But yet at the time, I didn't have it. But you know, as time went on and I started thinking more about it, it just kept ringing in my head. And a voice in the back of my head said, hey, Abasi, you still have a few more tournaments to go. You know, you may lose some, you may win some, but just maintain the idea that confidence is the key to success, and you'll do it. So that's what I did. During that winter break, a new man was born. I was rebirthed, in a sense. So I went back to speech team. Well, speech team came back up. And I went into the tournaments with that new motto in mind, like confidence is the key to success. Like, I will do this and I will win. And I was not going to let anything stop me. And that's exactly what happened. During my Reed Custer tournaments, I ended up taking 3rd place for radio speaking, which, you know, started to see some progress with the new motto and everything. Made me feel happy. I also took 3rd place at my bowling grip tournament. Look at that style. That's besides the point, though.
First place record.
And for my Shepherd 218 fling, I ended up taking 6th place for radio speaking. This was one hard tournament. But I was content. I mean, I placed. That's all that matters. But anyway, regionals finally came. And like I said before, I was not going to let anything stop me. I told myself, I'm going to succeed. I don't care what anyone does. And that's what happened. I ended up taking 2nd place for radio speaking. And also, not just that, I ended up taking 3rd place for dramatic duet acting. So I was able to advance to sectionals with 2 categories under my belt, which takes a lot of skill. I'm just saying. But anyway, sectionals. Sectionals came about. This was said right here, the granddaddy of everything. This would determine if I would go to state. And well, this is what happened at sectionals. During my dramatic duet speaking rounds, everything was nice and it was fun. I managed to get everything right, me and my partner. But my radio speaking rounds, I did horrible. I mispronounced names, countries, and etc. And I didn't even know if I was going to go into the final round to compete. But I was still content, and I told myself, just maintain that confidence is the key to success, and I'll make it. And well, that's what happened. I ended up making it to the final round, and in order to advance to state, you have to be in the top 3. And as you can see right here, these are the top 6 who made it to the final round. So I'm just sitting there like, okay, here we go. Let's see if I made it. So they started calling their names and whatnot, and eventually they got down to the final 3. And I was in the final 3. And I was happy, I was really happy, you know? You can tell I'm sitting there like, oh my God, I'm in the top 3. So yeah, I was in the top 3. But then, this ended up happening. I ended up taking 1st place at sectionals, and this is my first time ever taking 1st place. I've never taken 1st place in any category in speech team at all. So it was a huge monument for me, and I was content. So as you can see, I achieved my goal. I made it to state for speech team, and also state didn't go that well. I didn't place, but that's another story. But I still went to state, and that's all that mattered. But anyway, though, so what? What does this mean for you? All right, I made it to state. What do you guys need to take out of this? Well, I want you all to leave today with this in mind. Confidence is the key to success. Just no, I'm serious. Just abide by that, and you will succeed. You know, like I said, I failed in the beginning, as you can tell. But I didn't let that change me as an individual. I continued and I struggled, but still, I achieved success. And this quote right here, one important key to success is self-confidence. An important key to self-confidence is preparation. One of my favorite quotes by Arthur Ashe. I probably pronounced his name wrong, but you guys understand. But yes, so if you're in a situation where you're feeling nervous or whatnot, just remember that confidence is the key to success, and you'll be able to stand right back up, face that challenge head on, and defeat it. Thank you.